Cape Town forever. Cape Town forever.
Meet Siphuxolo Mazwi, Head of Marketing and Tourism at Robben Island Museum, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Siphu blends business expertise with passion for preserving South Africa's history. We speak to Siphu about her devotion for presenting such an important part of our history and heritage to the world.
We're back with Cape Town Forever, and our special guest today is Siphu from Robben Island Museum. Siphu, you're going to have to give me your surname again because I want to learn it. How do you say your surname?
No, my surname is Mazwi. However, my full name is Siphuxolo, but I cut it short because I don't want you to bite your tongue. So it's Siphuxolo.
Siphuxolo.
Siphuxolo Mazwi.
All right. Siphu, tell us about your position at Robben Island Museum. It must be quite a special thing for you to work in such a special heritage site.
My position at Robben Island Museum is Senior Manager for Marketing and Tourism. And as you have indicated, it is one of the special highlights of my career life because as a tourism ambassador from growing up, I wanted to make a significant contribution, and working for Robben Island Museum really is rewarding as such for me.
Okay, great. And so you've got a background in tourism. You've studied tourism, I believe, in Durban.
Yeah, correct.
Great. Siphu, you sound very passionate about your position at Robben Island Museum. And as a student of tourism, you seem to understand the language that is needed to express the importance of such a massive heritage site. How do you approach this when you speak to someone from another country? How would you tell them about what it's all about?
So you are very right. I'm very passionate about my position, not necessarily my position though. However, the tourism industry as a whole, it is very fulfilling when you go out there and tell people about the culture that is within South Africa. So for me, it's not only about Robben Island Museum, but however, South Africa as a whole. But now narrowing it down to Robben Island Museum, I sell it as a memory of resilience because there is a lot of history, of South African history, that is buried into Robben Island Museum. And the more you go deeper into Robben Island Museum, it's like you are uncovering an onion, all these layers, and you are just in an hour of, oh my goodness, our forefathers come from these challenges, so to speak. So when I sell Robben Island Museum, it's a place of resilience, a place whereby people can draw inspiration, and also a place that will drive unity. It's a place of advocacy for unity for the world, because you know there is a lot of social disparities that are out there. So we sell it in a way that it is bringing that unity and that collaboration, because the political imprisonment epoch of Robben Island Museum does indicate that there were political prisoners from different walks of life and some from different other countries, and they came in to collaborate fighting for South Africa's freedom. So if ever we want to progress with the collaborations, symbols like Robben Island Museum, they can be a good example for us now and today on how do we move forward as countries and society in creating social cohesion, so to speak.
See, there's the passion we were talking about. Awesome. So tell me, because you brought up, unity and all that, and also how you like to speak to different audiences. Since you've been working there, do you feel that there have been more locals that have been coming to see the site? I always find it very special when I as a tour guide, I used to go there and I'd find out that there's a person standing next to me that came all the way from Pretoria or from Limpopo that wants to learn about the past, and they get quite emotional. And do you still find a lot of that coming on? Like, do you have families coming to, do the whole understanding where they came from still, or has it become more international for you?
With the marketing and tourism strategy that I'm currently driving, I want tourism or Robben Island Museum to appeal to the local market, more especially the young ones. And that is the councils of or the board of directors, what you call one of the priorities, that we need not to let the history that is buried on Robben Island to be only known by the people that experienced the apartheid regime. So what we currently see on the boarding areas is very intentional, because we have your local visitors from Cape Town and the Western Cape, and then we have the tourist from South Africa as a whole. And we have designed campaigns to stimulate the demand of this market by offering maybe concession tickets, because we know the socio-economic issues that we encounter here in South Africa and Cape Town. So providing those concessions, we do invite or provide access for locals to experience Robben Island Museum. And over above that, we have school camps that provide that history of Robben Island Museum. So people or school children or youth groups would go to Robben Island Museum and sleep over there for 3 days, and then experience all the multi-layered history. And to top it up, they would have a one-on-one interaction with an ex-political prisoner that was imprisoned on Robben Island Museum. So that is a way of continuing speaking about the importance and the relevance of Robben Island Museum within the youth groups in South Africa and the elders in South Africa. And as you have indicated, it is a very emotional and moving experience, more especially with someone that goes there for the first time. They would want to repeat, because the emotions are just so overwhelming. When you get into the ferry, people are excited, no, I'm going to the ferry. And when they come back, you can feel that somber mood on the ferry because of what they had to take in. And that also mobilizes that, especially for the youth, that they should not take for granted the freedoms or the freedoms that we are enjoying today, because it has been through blood, sweat, and tears that some of them happened on Robben Island Museum.
Very moving. So, with that being said, what mediums do you use right now? Because we are in 2024, there are so many different ways of actually accessing or creating channels for the young and for all ages, basically. And I remember when we go on the ferries, you actually have a video that has a timeline of actually showing how, like you said, how many layers there are in the onion of what is Robben Island. What are the different ways as in marketing that you guys have worked on to access people or allow people to access you better and the history, and not only, as you said, to understand the struggle that was fought, or the struggle for and the fight for the freedom, but also, from what I understand, when people leave that island, I understand that a lot of guides say that they hope that they leave with hope, and there's always hope. And you mentioned that we South Africans are very resilient, and I also like to use the word tenacious. Like, tenacious is a new word that I find. We don't know how to die. We just keep going, and that's why we win World Cups. That's why we doesn't matter what happens in our country, we just keep going forward. And with your the way you want to show to the young guys and the elderly even, how do you actually show that now? What mediums do you guys use?
All right, then. Now that the marketing industry has evolved, not necessarily the marketing industry evolving, however, how we as humans has evolved with the presence of technology. Storytelling has become key.
Yes.
So we do a lot of storytelling with our social media. We have influencers, local influencers who are going to the island and experience the island and go out there and tell other people. And we go to different trade shows whereby we capture people as they coming into our exhibit. Then we just show them a teaser of Robben Island Museum and just converse with them just to whet their appetite to go on to Robben Island Museum. And I think that has worked, especially for the business to consumer trade shows that we have been attending, because people would see Robben Island Museum, oh, it's an island, maybe it's expensive to go there and. But then when you actually converse with a person and just whetting their appetite, then they're like, oh, wow, then I can take my whole family and go there. So those are the mediums that we use, and we still use the traditional above the line marketing, mass media, your TV, your radio stations, as well as your printed literature, your brochures as well. However, we are moving into storytelling as well as social media and digital marketing.
Social media. So you're saying you guys have an Instagram page and you have a Facebook page that people can access?
Yes, we do have those, and we do not only post content that has to do with tourism or Robben Island Museum as a tourism site. However, we also do showcase the student camps that are on Robben Island Museum, the incentive travel for the groups that would like to host their leadership functions on Robben Island Museum. And all that narrative is driven by the content or by the history of Robben Island Museum. And if ever you are following us, you would know that we have last year introduced a 10-kilometer memorial run, of which it was appealing to the local visitor, because it is not, that tour that you have to follow a tour guide to a prison and all that. You actually experience the museum in a different manner. However, after your run, you can choose, okay, I do need to go to Sobukwe House or the prison, so that you can have that sense of hours on Robben Island Museum. Because what we have found out is that a lot of people do not want to come back with that heavy heart that you previously spoken about, but they want to experience the island differently whilst learning the history of Robben Island Museum. So we try to make it, I would say, fun in that manner, so that it attracts the different target audiences that we do have in South Africa. And people are looking for authentic experiences. And Robben Island Museum is a protected area. We have some fauna and flora there. So when people are running there or are engaging in a walking tour and they see a beautiful city of Cape Town and the Table Mountain on the other side, and then the ocean and Blowback on the other side, and then they are very captivated with the natural heritage that we have, and also the cultural heritage that they are there to learn.
Okay, super. So you seem to be quite deep into the Robben Island, not just the way things work, but how you want it to work. And it's great to know that you are working within the new channels available. There are, though, certain things I always find that's good to bring up for those who aren't as observant as they should be when they go to waterfront, and locals miss out on this. So talk to us about Jetty 1, because Jetty 1 is something that people go to Mug and Bean, but they never go to Jetty 1, which is right next to it. How does this link to Robben Island?
With Jetty 1, you are quite correct. A lot of people do not know about it, but there is something that the Robben Island Museum is doing about it, because it holds a very significant connection with the island. So currently what we have there on Jetty 1 it's a model of the maximum security prison and the model of the Robben Island Museum itself. So when you go there, you can just have a preview of what Robben Island Museum is about. However, the Jetty One, it was used previously as the holding cell before the prisoners were taken over to Robben Island, and also a sleepover area for the visitors before they were taken over to Robben Island Museum. So we are working on creative and immersive experience since we are in the waterfront, so that we can be able to capture the young audience that would want, your virtual reality activities within the museums that do not want to go over to Robben Island Museum. So we want to tell the story of JT1 and also the link and the significance to Robben Island Museum itself. So that's what we are currently working on. But the JT1 is open for public. A person can just go there to just have a preview of Robben Island, and also just to go around at the exhibitions that are currently there and read at their own pace to understand what is it that the Jetty One was all about, and also what is it that they can find on Robben Island Museum itself when they travel over by ferry.
And the ferries are still, they go every day of the year, or obviously depending on weather dependent, of course, but how many ferries do you guys have right now?
No, we do have two Robben Island Museum owned ferries, and then we do have other chartered vessels that we do use because, as I've indicated, that we have created the demand. So with the demand, we have to augment our fleet with the chartered vessels so that we bring everybody to Robben Island Museum, because it is very it is very heartbreaking when you see people going into Robben Island. Though we sell tickets online, but when it's sold out, they want to go there to check that really it is sold out. And then you could see the disappointment in their faces. The whole of September, the tourism month, we were fully booked, and we are being fully booked like every day, and we are going to have a bumper season because of the marketing and promotional activities that we have been making. We can see that we are making an impact. However, when we are fully booked and a person cannot schedule for another day, we can tell them to go and actually see JT1, and then take some pictures on JT1, because there's a big nice picture of Robben Island. They can take a picture there, and then they can learn about Robben Island Museum as well.
Sipho, you mentioned concessions. What do you mean by concessions? Does this mean that people from all communities can access and visit the island? How do you go about that?
Oh, all righty then. Then, as I indicated, that Robben Island Museum now wants to create access so that every South African can be able to go on Robben Island and share in with the history of our very beautiful land. So what I mean about concessions, yes, with school groups, we have discounted rates during our concession period, and also with organizations like nonprofit organizations, as well as pensioners' days. We have Mondays and Wednesdays are pensioners' days, as well as we have launched a new Bring a Child Free with a Paying Adult during some school holidays. So that is what I mean by what you call bike concessions. And you can just go onto our website and ask more about when does the concession period available, and also with the pensioners it's available 365 days a year. And then for school holidays we have that one paying adult and one child free to Robben Island Museum, so that the Robben Island Museum is accessible to every South African, and also it remains relevant, and we tell the story that will inspire people to be hopeful and also understand the disparities that, or the resilience that the ex-political prisoners had during the time of hardships in South Africa, so that they cannot take advantage of the freedom that we enjoy today.
So what's next? Because it sounds like you guys are working hard for the future. What's next for people to look out for in the next 6 months?
I wouldn't say in the next 6 months, because we encounter some of the delays, especially with the weather, because we're overseas. We cannot necessarily do what we want to do. However, the strategy that Robben Island Museum is working towards is to diversify its products and offerings, and also to have specialized tours of the layers of history that are there at Robben Island Museum. I'm not sure if ever you do know that during the World War II, Robben Island Museum was a defense line. Yeah. So no, we are working on a tour that is going to be focused just on the World War II narrative of Robben Island Museum. And as I've indicated, we're working on Jetty 1 that is here at the waterfront to have an immersive experience for the visitors. And we do have the walking tour whereby you actually walk on the footsteps of those who came before us, fighting for our freedom. And then I'm not sure you do know that we have churches and kramats on the island. And also we are looking at having religious experiences on the island. So we are looking at diversifying our products. And I have indicated when we have started that we do have some of the prison cells that were converted, but not the ones in the maximum security prison, were converted into accommodation facilities. So that's where our youth groups come in and have those 3-day camps. So camps are going to be the thing when we have finished refurbishing some of those areas. So that is what we are working on, and that is what's new that we are currently doing, and the memorial run that is happening annually in what you call in December.
And let's not forget that on Valentine's Day, you invite everyone to get married in that church.
Unfortunately, that has been on hold ever since COVID. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're holding thumbs for the Valentinos out there. But thank you so much. It sounds really good that you guys are actually diversifying. I like the word that you use, diversifying, and actually playing the field as it is. Yes, there are actually, I've seen the big guns out there. I think there's a few, most of them are completed. The one was not completed because they were too slow, and during the war they were still building it and it was never used. But there's also tunnels, from what I understand, that link all of these big guns. So yeah, very cool to see that you guys are playing to the military side of it, the religious side of it, the cultural side of it, and not just to see it as a prison, but actually as a world of different, what shall we say, experiences.
Yeah, a world of different experiences whereby you can experience the natural biodiversity, because we have springboks and penguins and birds and tortoises. So you can just see everything in one. And also with those experiences, we're also looking now at bringing in food and beverage so that you can spend the whole day on the island and eat there, maybe have a fast food restaurant. But those are all the things that are in the pipeline.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sipho, for talking to us. I hope you guys have a great season ahead. And yeah, keep on educating the world and our own people about the beauty of having hope and tenacity.
Thank you for having me. It has been a pleasure, and I invite everyone to come and experience Robben Island Museum at least once in your lifetime.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cape Town forever. Cape Town forever.